I'm going to knock out 3 problems from our homework that I gave you on Thursday, Friday-ish, depending on if you're there for the snow or not. And let's go ahead and get started. This is an Isosceles Right problems. So real quick, let me draw our definition. And on my wonderful pen here, it's not the best, a radical 2. And this is an Isosceles Right. That means these are 45 45s. So I'm going to do the algebra method from here on out. The proportion method is good for middle school and freshman year in high school, but after that, we want to start doing algebra for the most part. So I'm going to say, okay, where does this 8 radical 3 line up to? It lines up with my a. So I'm simply going to put a is equal to 8 radical 3. So I want to solve this. Therefore, y is going to be the same thing. It's an isosceles, 8 radical 3. And all I do is just multiply this to radical 2. So 8 radical 3 times radical 2, radical play with radical, is equal to 8 radical 6. So this is just 8 radical 6. That's a pretty little 6. I'm still getting over my pneumonia. Almost there. Maybe another week. Okay, again, let's go ahead and draw our template. A radical 2. Boom, boom. And that means that's 45. This is a 45, 45 special right. And I just take a look at this and say, what does it line up to be? It lines up to this guy right here. So I set them equal to each other. I do a radical 2 is equal to 7 radical 5. Solve for a, solve for this guy, so I got to divide by radical 2, just a number. And I have a is equal to 7 radical 5 over radical 2. Now in my class, I'm going to require that you get rid of the radical in the denominator. I've explained the reasons why in class, but we're just going to multiply by 1. My 1 just happens to look like radical 2 over radical 2. Radical plays with radical, so that's 7 radical 10 over 2. What do you call that, 3.5 or 7 over 2 times radical 10? Doesn't matter to me. This right here is your answer for x and y. 7 radical 10 over 2. Okay? Last example. Get in the habit of always drawing your definition until it becomes so second nature you don't even think about it. A radical 2. And I'm looking at this guy right here. It lines up with my a radical 2, so I'm going to set it equal to each other. A radical 2 is equal to 10 radical 14. I simply divide to get rid of my radical 2. Any number divided by itself is 1, so that cancels out. So I have a is equal to 10 radical 14 over radical 2. Radical plays with radical, so these guys play with each other. And this is nothing more than one big radical, 14 over 2, which is equal to radical 7. So this is just nothing more than 10 radical 7. Boom, done. Happy, happy time. Alrighty, I'll get this uploaded.